Welcome back to Savage Shaman Seminars. Today
Hmm.
we are talking about the spiritual implications of ET life
Right.
and why it's important at all to speak about these specific beings or these alien beings that
Hmm.
we call ETs.
Right. So to give a little bit more context about what an ET is, an ET is just nothing more than extraterrestrial. During the last 2 years, seeing how we've become extreme spiritualists in some form, this is becoming more and more of a topic.
Yeah.
From literally our laptops and phones and blocks shutting down of electricity to random sorcerers just flying above, remember that Bali event, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So my perspective on this, why this would be important is if we assume that we are multi-dimensional beings that at some point it becomes extraterrestrial as well. Especially if you consider that some of us, and maybe a lot of us here, have starseed lineages. Do you know what a starseed is, Sumit? What's the definition of something like that?
Um, well, it's a very varied thing, right? So starseed is like you were born from a star in a sense. You were seeded from the galaxy in some way. So you
Hmm.
would be here to teach humanity a lesson. It's similar to the concept of a light worker, really, where you feel this immense pull towards helping humanity heal in some way. And it goes through kind of different flavorings, you could say, depending on the different races, or they aren't even races, you could say different species. Like, there's mantid beings, there's
Hmm.
mantis beings, there's the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, and so they all come from different stars in the constellation, right? Orion would be the Orion's belt, right, and so forth. So
Hmm.
we can understand that there is some kind of a connection that's connecting us to the galaxies and above, and that's where the star seed idea kind of stemmed into this cosmic collective consciousness.
Hmm. I see.
So yeah, but I think, man, this is my perspective on this: is like the aliens want humans not to freak out so much, and they're there, right? They're there, and they give us advice, but it's like we have to contact them through very subtle ways.
Okay, let's give an example. Did you ever have an octopus that touch you? And the octopus already looks extremely weird, nothing against the octopus. Like I'd freak out. I mean, I like eating calamari any most days of the week, right? But having a live octopus touch me just or like an insect, like those creepy crawlies. Now imagine those creepy qualities being the like human size and have dress shoes and a tuxedo or something and a moniker and a top hat. You know what I'm saying? It's and maybe less insectoid and more slightly humanoid. It's still gonna
Mhm.
weird me out in some way.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah,
people
I don't want to like
see
catch a blue lyran being or something when I'm eating dinner or something. That's why it's like they don't want to freak us out, honestly. Like if they were
honestly,
just manifesting here, we would just lose all our shit. We'd be like, what the fuck are those beings?
well,
And we'd invest more time into learning about it rather than actually, going
it's
about our
it's
day.
if we have to
Yeah.
go based on the movies, it's likely going to start a war with them just because we don't understand them.
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't get
And
them. Yeah. Ignorance. Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, the first thing is to learn about these beings in whatever way you can. There's the internet, okay? Learn about starseeds, learn about these alien beings, learn about
okay, okay. Just a disclaimer. Yes, the internet, but be aware what
oh
sources
yeah.
you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I
Beware of the
mean,
sources that you're
Wikipedia.
following.
I mean, pretend you're academic and just look for the right sources. We
Yeah.
could talk about this
Yeah, don't
afterwards.
WebMD article like how to contact aliens. Don't do that shit. Like
Uh,
be wise about it because this is occult stuff too, so if you want to learn more about it, you can always join our mystery school. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Let's see. For me, the story with E.T.'s kind of started with, of course, a movie E.T. And I was like, oh,
Mm.
that's a fairy tale. Then you had the Indian version of that, which is Yadu, right? Remember that? for the Indians amongst
Um,
us. You remember Jadoo? That's fantastic.
yeah, you know, I
Heavily
had
recommended.
one of my college, I guess, people I knew in college came up with a brand called Jadu AI, and he made it like this huge brand or something. It's like
Mm,
augmented reality or something. It's not AI, my bad. It's like augmented reality. So like Tupac's hologram, that kind of stuff, So really
mm.
cool. Um,
Well, Jadoo happened to be about creating holograms
well,
that
Jadu
become
means
real.
magic, right? And so he
Right.
he called it magic, which I think is very interesting. But yeah, what was the movie about, Ryan? I don't remember.
I don't know. It's been about 20 years, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an old movie. If you have nothing else to do with your life, just watch Jadoo. It's one of the hidden gems of India with the legendary Hrithik Roshan. If you like very handsome Indian men, that's for you.
Yeah, watch a lot of Bollywood for that. Um,
Anyway, so that's two. And then I remember you wanting to channel osmosis, right?
right.
And then having to deal with a very high frequency being that's pretty much like Poindexter and a general at the same time. You know, very high frequency
Yeah.
up in his head, very technical, very to the point. And then having to deal with the freakiness that was Bali at some point, right? Because I remember we were asking the locals what the sound was, and they were saying like we have no idea. And the stars were moving around us. We were seeing birds flying weird patterns, like we're used to like a V pattern, but I've never seen birds fly in one unison circle before.
Yeah, and leaves were also doing that. Like near, you remember we were in the
Yeah,
swimming pool area of the villa, and then there
yeah,
was like weird wavering noises like around us.
constantly, constantly,
And yeah, it's just like, what is that?
constantly.
Anything I think that we think we can't put a finger on, right? We can't really be like, okay, this is exactly what this is. It
Exactly.
takes on the realm of ET in some way, right? Because it's well, UFO as well,
Well,
right? Unidentified flying object. It could be, you know,
well,
whatever flying object.
this is then my question to you, right, Sumit, in
Yeah.
this conversation. What is then the difference between paranormal, like
Mm.
spirits, etc., the
Mm-hmm.
undead, or whatever,
Yeah.
ghouls, etc., versus extraterrestrial, like aliens, etc.? What's the difference?
You want my personal take on that, Ryan?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so my personal take is our psyche has evolved and developed, so we became more intelligent beings, and we started to discover these ETs as we started to evolve our brain. So
Hmm.
maybe you notice in villages they don't really talk about ETs much, right? It's like the people who are connected to the roots of the land, they experience those paranormal spirits and those ghosts. But you
I
take it
would
to the
have
bigger cities and so forth, and you take, the human intelligence into context, then we start getting ETs.
it would have been cool if we had a chance to really visit the villages of Bali and meet up with the old folk, like the medicine
Mm-hmm.
man. It would have been
Yeah.
interesting. And maybe
Yeah.
could have
Yeah,
used
we
the
needed to make
lion.
that trip way more longer, bro. I swear. It
Yeah,
felt like such a
yeah,
short,
yeah,
but it was so life-changing, right? Yeah. At the same time.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But back to
Imagine
ETs.
facing your fears every single day, bro. Fuck, like daily
Right,
rebirths.
right, right. I I remember asking whether we could ever get permission for, having these beings manifested, and the answer was constantly, no. Not
Mm,
because they didn't want to or we didn't want to. It's more so our brains can't handle that.
exactly.
It's like having a mind fuck within a mind fuck. You won't be able to understand the language, etc. And you know, how are you even going to communicate with these beings?
Yeah.
I don't think we have that level yet.
One thing you can try
However,
to do, this is something for people to practice if they want to tap into it, is
again,
yeah.
disclaimer. Don't be an idiot. No, no, I'm
Yeah.
serious. Like, this is like bordering like channeling and mushroom territory, and
Hmm.
like immediately don't be an idiot for the loss of your land. don't get yourself in trouble. That being said, submit.
Okay. So I would look up light language of different starseed
Ah,
channelers that are practicing in light language of that specific star system. So Pleiadian light language, Arcturian light language,
mm,
Vega light language, whatever. I'm Vega myself, and Ryan over there is Syrian. We have a lot of people in the mix I see in the chat as well. A lot of
mm,
different starseed. Shout out Mintaka as well, TXL.
exactly. So if you want to know,
And
just join the Adepts group or ask during the channeling session.
But yeah,
Yeah.
look up the light language and see what you feel like. If it feels like
Mm.
home, if it feels like, whoa, I've never felt something like this before,
Yeah.
it's probably a sense of, okay, this has been connected to me in some way, And that's the feeling at least I got when I listened to like Vega channeled singing and through light language. It's very much like, whoa, that's like that feels like my divine mother in some way. It's very weird
Hmm.
as that sounds.
Right.
Yeah.
So remember when I did the maximum available commercial dose with Tariq? I believe it's called the High Hawaiians. I forget
Hmm.
specifically which company it's from, but
Yeah,
I
Ryan is
remember
in the
it's
Netherlands, by the way, guys. So if for all legality purposes, okay?
I did it very legal. Shrooms here, the actual shrooms are illegal, but magic truffles is very legal here for some reason. I don't know why. I haven't exactly looked in the law book for this. I just figured, oh, I can buy this. Fantastic. Anyway, I remember visiting Tariq at Rotterdam Lombardije at his place and fasting 24 hours, and then just immediately around 6 p.m. just raw dogging those mushrooms down and just drinking water and just going, well, here we go. And then slowly the mushrooms are just taking over, and I immediately just went to the bathroom and for some reason isolating myself in near complete darkness. And I
Mm,
remember those mushrooms really just taking over. Now, usually what happens to me is if I decide to channel on mushrooms because that was the
my bad.
intention for that day.
Mhm.
That's cool. Um, I definitely got taken over, and one of the main messages was allow everything to be your teacher. And I
Mm,
remember in order to get to that lesson, I was just searching for warmth and a place to go home. And I remember just the week before we channeled Osmosis or Hermes, either one of the two. And I remember either one saying that I should get in contact with my Syrian family, my Syrian
yeah.
mom and dad. And I remember asking my ancestors whether they're proud of me. And suddenly just extreme visions
By the way,
and
guys, we mean Sirius Starseed or Syrian Starseed, not the country Syria, okay? Just
just a
for reference.
disclaimer.
Right.
Although I might have blood lineage there, I
Yeah,
wouldn't know.
probably. Yeah.
I mean,
I
the
wouldn't be surprised.
last
Yeah.
name come is very international.
Mm,
And I remember at some point feeling this very, how would you even describe it? Very nurturing fatherly and motherly energy and their energy taking over. And I don't know how to describe this in words other than it is such a distinct feeling of this was at some point my mother, this was at some point
yeah.
my father, and it's like it's kind of like that Superman film, right, where he finally reconnects with his parents or memories of his parents. Like,
Mm,
oh, fuck! It's at some point these beings were really my parents. And the main message was, I'm proud of you no matter what.
mm,
And it hit me on such an emotional level. And maybe it's just, placebo, whatever it's called. But man, that hit me so hard. So hard, tears, etc. And then from there, everything went wild. Of course, with me channeling all my totems, seeing visions of a yogic ancestors and me putting one of my legs behind my head, chanting the Krishna mantra. And I don't even know the Krishna mantra. I wouldn't know why I knew these things, right? Of course, is then combining the energies of ETs, ancestral lineages. God only knows what else happened. I
Mm-hmm.
just remember that day was ex one of the more extreme uh days ever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to
Man,
you.
that
Yeah.
wait, that was all in a toilet, Ryan? Like what?
Yeah, pretty
Like
much.
damn, you're
I mean,
wow,
I
that's
mean, I
incredible
mean,
actually.
I'm also not saying the fact that was for some reason I was making a lot of dolphin and whale noises very loudly, mind you. So I don't know whether the neighbors heard me.
Yeah, out of context, it sounds hella weird. It's like who the fuck is
It's
making dolphin noises in the
I
in the
don't
restroom
know,
right now?
and you need
Wait,
to
was this
realize.
outdoors in the beach as well?
No,
Like,
no, no, no. Well, the one at the beach at Hoek for Holland, which I recommend you guys
oh, that was a
go.
different one, yeah.
I don't remember any ETs
Oh,
necessarily, but
here you were at Tariq's place?
yes, that
Okay.
was the only time I got in contact with uh the Syrian family, so to speak, the Syria family,
Mm,
so to speak. And I don't really remember any other times where it was that intense. I mean,
mm,
at some point, I'm gonna have to rechannel them.
yeah.
But again, my team is very parental and ancestral because I like it like that. What
Mm.
is your first experience with the ETs and the channeling of them?
Um, I think it's really interesting because I first met other people on the journey that confirmed that I was from Vega, like one of them being
Mm.
Savannah, and
Mm.
uh, and it was a very interesting like synchronicity how in our conversations she brought up things like different symbols, different like candles, different just she just was drawn to bring me different things. All of those things I was thinking that very day. I'm like,
Mm.
this is too weird to not be a weird familial, like, you know,
Mm.
brother sister connection that's happening right
I
now
understand.
between this completely random human. And
Mm-hmm.
we can talk in the same kind of vibrational language. So it's like that started to scare me as well. I was like, what the?
Right.
Um, but I think firstly, I was always as a small child, I was obsessed with just like aliens, dude. Like, just I drew one of my first books that I wrote was called The Alien That Made Things Tick, bro. Like, and I didn't really publish it, right? It's like laminated or whatever. I was like 8 years old, 7 years old or some
You might have
shit.
to revisit it.
Yeah, it was like so the storyline goes like this: an alien comes from another planet
Mm.
and he uses the animals to help Earth. So he uses the elephants to spread more water, to plant seeds
Mm.
and help the planet grow, help the birds to help, bring. So all of the animals were used by the alien to heal the planet, essentially. And this is very interesting because also a lot of the times when we contact alien spirits, they give us animals. They'll give you like an imagery of an owl or a bird or something else to help the human mind comprehend that alien
Mm.
nature. So
I'm
I think
familiar.
that,
Mm-hmm.
even at a very, very young age, I was tapping into this stuff, guys. Don't think that it's like suddenly I'm a channeler. No, it's kind of been suppressed and hidden in the background for
Well,
many, many years. So it's like,
remember, um,
yeah.
to give an example, right? So I believe either this weekend or last week, or last weekend or last week,
Hmm.
I wanted to confirm something with you, and it had to do with, back at my father's sawmill, because, my life was extremely strict. Um, I
It's
wouldn't really
111,
have
by the way,
friends.
right here.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
It would be like work, school, fighting. That's it. And when I got older, added dancing, and that's it. And because I didn't have friends, what I would do is just almost live in this fantasy world. But what I didn't realize was I wasn't really in a fantasy world. I was actually communing with spirits.
Hmm.
And I remember there was one moment where a spirit said, "Hey, you need to fucking leave. This boulder, this mammoth block is gonna fall." And I was like, okay, bet. I left, and like 2 minutes later, the block just fell, and I was like, okay, that's weird. I didn't think too much about it. And then last weekend or last week, you confirmed, no, it was actually a spirit. And I was
Right.
like, so you're telling me it was never a fantasy, it was real. And then I'm like trying to recollect all the memories that I have where things happened to me when I was younger that no one can explain, yet it's there. And it could be like random fairies from South America,
Mm,
from beings protected me and birth from my mom, being protected by some sort of Naga being uh giving birth to my little sister because she almost died all 3 times, so to speak, right? And
mm,
I'm just trying to figure out as hmm. I keep wanting to say aspiring shaman, but I'm already a shaman. I've been doing this for the last 2 years almost nonstop
exactly.
24/7 because it's not only is it so extremely fascinating, but at some point I'm starting to realize extraterrestrial, the paranormal, or whatever, they're just categories.
Yeah.
ET, paranormal, etc., is still the great unknown.
Mm,
Or better said, it's the unknown within us, reflected outward,
mm,
etc. Because
mm.
if we're all fractals, and I don't know where this is coming from, so I'm just
Oh yeah.
randomly.
No, the deities have said many times, Ryan, that we are fractals. That
We
is indeed true. Yeah.
if
We're
we
God
truly are
fractals. Yeah.
exactly right, if we truly are part of the God fractal, and all these beings are somehow connected to that, then by definition, we truly are connected together. It can be connected in benevolent ways, magnificent ways, neutral ways, who knows? But I'm starting to
Mm,
care a little bit more than I used to.
mm,
Especially, and here's the thing, right? Purely from a pragmatic standpoint, if there
mm,
are beings out there that want to help me, and I don't even know they exist, let alone, you know, can't speak to them, whatever, and that I find a little bit problematic because that's blocking my blessings.
mm.
Why? If they can
Yeah.
make my life significantly more easier by giving me be it cheat code or helping with my mindset, fuck it, even if it means protecting me, my family, etc. from their dimension. To give an example, the Mongolian king Rubiel,
Mr.
right?
Robale, yeah. Yep.
Rubiel protects us from ghosts. Of course, sometimes one slips through, but
And he
that's
loves them orange peels, man. I don't know. Something about that Ghost King and orange peels is like
good point. Good
peanut
point,
butter
Ava.
jelly. Yeah. Yeah,
I
straight up.
forgot to post his picture. I keep forgetting that. I made something in like a nice art thing with orange
Mm,
dragons and him being almost like this Yama figure. Anyway, Yama is
mm,
coming alive as well. Anyway, what if these beings truly wanted to help you? Why would they deny help?
mm.
I mean, you can easily
Yeah.
say, what if they have malicious intent? Well, that's why we built the Primal Sutra Council. A family,
Right.
like different pantheons working together under the banner of Primal Sutra. And if we ever had doubts, we just ask, yes or no, do we work with this being?
Mhm.
And of course, there's some politics involved. Like Kubera doesn't like some other world deities for whatever reasons. And
Mm,
of course, I had to get pranked because of it. I'll
mhm.
shout out to Uncle DS. Uh, for those of you who know, you know. Right. Um, we have 15 minutes. What do you want to talk
Mm.
about? What else is there to talk about ETs?
Um, oh yeah, what were you mentioning a bit before you're talking about the council?
Hmm.
I had something I was
What?
gonna say. Mm,
Why would you deny help?
mm,
Why?
right.
If one thing that I've
Yes.
learned in my career in business and even spirituality is, listen, I can only be good at so many things, and I want to be good at the things that I like being good at. So the
Mm,
gaps that I need to cross, I would like to cross it with a team being a human team, an ET team, a paranormal. Who cares? I'll cross that gap with the Ghostbusters if I have to.
hmm That's the
The
spirit. Yeah.
Ghostbusters one, preferably. I don't know about the girls. They weird me out. Um,
The Ghostbuster Girls edition or whatever.
yeah, it did. I don't
Yeah.
know, always weirded me out.
Yeah.
But that's me.
But
That's
yeah,
me.
so what I was going to say, Ryan, is that let's say that you have certain beings showing up in your meditations or in your dreams or in your visualizations, right?
Yeah.
These beings are specifically locating you in order for them to help you. So if you feel like, oh
Mm,
yeah, that's just a coincidence or a specific, thing in my mind, you're actually disrespecting that deity, in a very subtle way. And they're not going to want to
mm,
work with you if you do that. So it's like be open to random chance encounters and test it. Test the being, who are you working with? Where are you coming from? What's going on? Like, when you date somebody, you ask them a bunch of questions, right? Like you don't immediately just,
mm,
you have a process of qualification just like you do with a specific deity that comes
mm.
out of nowhere, right? Like Ryan, a random hot girl out of nowhere comes in and she's like, I want to move in with you, right? You're like,
I have questions.
right, I have questions, exactly. And that's
Like,
that's how you have to approach this thing.
one of which is, do you want my organs? And is there a camera, you know?
Exactly. That's the same thing. You want to protect yourself from some beings. Keep saying 3-3. What is the meaning of this? Creativity, brother. You need to put whatever download you're getting right now into some form of creativity. But also it's the master builder number. So
Exactly.
33, yeah, look into that, man. Master builder number.
Hmm.
Right. Anything else, guys? Any other questions? If you
Well,
want to
I
type it
have one
in.
more thing.
Yeah.
Understand that when it comes to the malicious ones, that there are ways to prevent them even getting close. And I can imagine there are maleficent star seeds, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
definitely. Yeah, because
and
there's
one
good
thing,
reptilians, bad reptilians, there's
right,
good
right, right,
mantis, there's bad mantis. Yeah, it's like
right.
people too. It's like,
It's exactly the
can't
same. Like
generalize. Yeah, yeah.
it's the same thing like knowing how to play the game. And
Mm,
it's almost funny that I have to say this, but spirituality for me is almost becoming a social game where I'm studying what I can get away with, who I can work with. And in order to simplify this all, I'm looking at it from a team of vision of abundance. Because we're going for that abundance mindset, no more lack. Because I don't believe money is the root of all evil. Nah, it's lack, it's poverty, it's, is that. Every
yeah,
time
scarcity.
I feel lack, I do stupid shit,
Yeah, yeah,
which is totally unnecessary. However, again, it's like the power push with doctrine, at least the way I apply it. If I do stupid shit and then I realize I was in lack, I forgive myself because here's the thing, I can't change the past. Apply it to Ho'oponopono technique based on the Ho'oponopono. Feel into the feeling of guilt, whatever the past, forgive all versions of that. I love you, I forgive you, and I'm sorry. Boom, handle it immediately, continue on, and mean that shit. Why? Because I don't want to get hung up on things. And let's say, and this has been a discussion before, Sumit,
mm,
the vegan star system has colonized the Syrian star system. And of course, civil
yeah,
wars. And I did feel some way because of it, because I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'm a
We have
punch
like
for
a
me.
cosmic beef, right? Together. Yeah, yeah.
But at some point,
Interesting.
right, I need to look at productivity because I can go to war or, you know, I can be productive, get money,
Mm,
build a community around me of all kinds of people and beings, etc., dedicated towards the vision of abundance. And who knows what good we can cause here? Because god damn it, there's enough war, right?
mm,
There's enough of that shit. And we keep ignoring the shadow side, etc. And I keep saying this, but yes, I am the shadow side of Primal Sutra. I love going towards the darkness and facing whatever mirror there is. So if there's any, you know, inherited generational gunk that happens to be
My bad,
evil
mosquitoes,
in
bro.
general, that's fine.
Yeah,
So be
yeah.
it. I'll handle it in this lifetime. Why? Because fuck it, why not?
Mm.
And that's the attitude I like to have. So if you're inspired by that from Johnny Depp's, let's get started. Final 10 minutes to me. Let's go with the outro. Anything you want to end on with?
Well, I think it's interesting you mentioned that, like, Syrian Vega War and so forth, and
So
how
as
it
you said that
affects.
it was like 936. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So I think one thing is that we might not even realize that we were travelers back in the day, right? Like, so even in our starseed lineage, we probably traveled to a lot of different galaxies, and we probably saw a lot. So we could have even avoided the war or not even been in the war, or you know what I mean? Like, we could have completely just zipped through it. Like, there was obviously a World War II, but were we affected by it personally? It's like, so that's the
Well,
thing.
here's the thing. I would not have known about it if it wasn't taught to me. But that's then, my general opinion
Yeah.
about education, etc. But this is not the topic of today.
Right. So we have a personal history, all of us, right? And if your
Yes.
personal history is connected to a spiritual lineage, then it actually changes your actual physical, your
Mm,
metaphysical body, but also your physical body. Like, it changes it,
yeah.
if you're connecting to it. So let's say your personal history is like you've been divorced or whatever, like that is going to change your auric field, right? Because you're telling yourself a
Mm,
certain story, you're constricting yourself maybe in your certain chakras, and
mm.
so you're just going to shrink in your spiritual capacity. But if you strengthen the root, which we suggest highly, and this was kind of a revelation of today for me,
Did you mean the root chakra or?
the root chakra, correct? So if you just send Lam with the Gyan Mudra and you
Mhm.
just keep doing that, it creates like a reservoir, the fuel, right, of that energy, that warrior
Mm,
energy that can shoot up to the top of the head. But if you start sending that Kundalini energy up to the top of the head already,
mm.
um, without bringing it from the root, you're losing out on that spiritual sustenance and power. This is why, like with semen retention, Ryan, like you are actually, and you're doing the root lock and you're sending energy up to your head, you are
Mm.
actually creating a storage space for that spiritual energy up at the top of your head. So it's like a reservoir. It's like having a camel with a hump on its back where it stores water, right? But you store chi at the top of your head. So now when the Kundalini hits it, it's like bingo, okay?
Mm.
It's like all the lights are on. So yeah, why was I bringing that up? I think because a lot of people, they skip past the grounding and the foundation on their spiritual journey, and we
Mhm.
started Primal Sutra on the notion of back to the basics, back to monkey, right? Again, which was,
That's stupid meme that
yeah,
just
that
keeps
stupid
coming
meme,
back.
reject more modernity, embrace monkey or whatever. But it's that concept that actually led us to explore this animism, shamanism, whatever you want to call it, and then
Mm.
it kind of sparked this chaos magic system
Mm.
right on the spot for us as we
Mm.
started delving back into our core. So that's how we sped up
Mm.
our spiritual journey. So maybe you can do something similar alongside us. Let's go on this journey together. We do not have to be alone on the spiritual path. A lot of people think you have to be in solitude, you have to be a monk,
Mm.
go out into the caves and just trap yourself away from society. But why not heal
Mm.
yourself through society, through relationships, embracing what comes up, living through the storm? And that's where I want to end, Brian G.
Well, here's the
Amazing
thing.
episode.
We haven't been taught how. And that's what Prime Sutra. Well, I want to say guys like Prime Sutra. I met us.
The
Who
Primal
else?
Sutra
Freon
family
Kata,
as well.
Prime
Yeah,
Family Ride,
the whole
Freon
substring of these
Kati,
deities we
Frank
work with. Yeah,
White, AGTV from
yeah.
IMC. Who else do we have? Vince Coffee. It's like, again, man, let's focus on being productive instead of bitching around and just get the job done. Speaking of getting the job done, obligatory New Zealand update. We're going to New Zealand. Join while you can. I don't want to go with a lot of people. I don't want to go with a big group. I just want to go, truck in the caravan, have a road trip, be away from this fucking cold ass country. Because I'll be going in December. Well, we're gonna go in December. And December,
November,
January
December.
is
Yeah,
like stupid cold. Ugh.
Yeah.
And there's
Oh,
gonna be
you're gonna
summer.
dip out of the cold, huh? Oh,
It's
that's actually
fantastic.
good planning on
It's
your part. Yeah.
uh I
Kudos.
if
Okay.
ever I've learned something from Dutch white people, it's just leave in December.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. This is IMCTV
Mm,
Savage Shaman Seminars. Make sure you hit
hmm
that like button. Check out Primal Sutra, the YouTube
hmm
channel as well. And we
hmm
will be back very shortly next week. Let's get it.
May never be the
Upward
same
Spiral
again.
Gang.
Or